happen, but he's the kind of guy that I don't think you ought to count him out. He'll probably come back. He's saddled with the same problem Gray Davis was, and it's interesting, probably the majority of the people, certainly in this state, voted out the previous governor because we were in debt. Now we're just as much in debt with Schwarzenegger. So what are you going to do about it? If you don't want to cut the taxes, then pay them, that's all. There's no big issue there other than just money.
Okay. Hey, Bernie, what do you think?
Well, he's not dead. I mean, he's got a year in politics is an eternity, so he's got plenty of opportunities to do something. And secondly, he's going to have somebody to run against in November. It's either, probably Angelides or Wesley, and that's going to make a difference too. Because now you've got to put a face on somebody, and you're going to have to deal with that. And they're going to have to be able to say something Democrats have had difficulty saying, which is, here's what I want to do versus here's what I don't want you to do. So his political career is not over, but a number of things are over. He's no longer the darling of the National Republican Party. You can no longer make any claim that California is a state that's in play as a red state versus a blue state. That is over. You cannot... The man said today that he learned his lesson. Well, that's good, but I don't want him learning any more $50 million lessons. Yeah. About how to do politics, and I don't understand Dr. Bill's comment at all. I don't know how teacher tenure was going to keep down taxes by saying to teachers you're not going to be qualified or you're going to be on probation for 5 years. I don't know how redistricting was going to keep taxes down unless he's going to assume that a lot of Republicans were going to all of a sudden win seats. But if they were fairly drawn, I don't know how he could draw that assumption. And in terms of 75, there's nothing more hypocritical than trying to reduce the ability of unions to make political contributions while corporations and big businesses are free to do anything they want. So in the long run, if Arnold is smart, he puts together a public works bill. He builds freeways, he builds bridges, he fixes infrastructure, he does things that everybody can agree to do, and he starts pointing to those as things. And by the way, all those things need to be done in the state of California. And if he's stupid, if he keeps the same advisors he has, then he's going to lock heads with the legislature, and in the end he loses in November, and they put somebody else in.
Okay, Gene?
Well, it is amusing to discuss the periphery of the issue, but let's talk about the real issue. I notice none of my colleagues have mentioned the word tax. The problem we have here is that California is on a collision course with destiny. I don't think the propositions the governor proposed were necessarily going to deal with that. Now we've spent the $50 million. He was totally missing from the campaign. I can't reconcile in my mind, and I don't know how he does in his, and if I were he, I would not run again, because I didn't show up for this election. He didn't campaign on this election. He didn't take the monetary issues to the people of California. Instead, we kept it on personality and gut-level issues, whose ox is being gored, rather than talking about how the hell we're going to afford what it is we say we want. And Bernie says, and I think correctly, that Democrats are going to have to start talking about what they're going to do rather than what the other guy is doing wrong. But somebody better get ready with the big T and tell the people of California exactly what taxes they'll raise to balance this budget and exactly how far we have to raise them to do what the big T people want done.
Exactly.
All right. You're listening to the All Star broadcast and debate from Marin County on KGO News Talk 810. On the docket tonight, and I hope we get to all of this stuff. We're going to talk Walmart. We're going to talk about war on terror. We're going to talk about big oil companies, illegal immigration, Supreme Court nominees. We are also going to talk about, spend a lot of time on the war of Iraq. You're listening to KGO News Talk 810. It's the KGO All Star broadcast. With Corral, Ray Taliaferro, Gene Burns, Bernie Ward, Pete Wilson on the way, and Dr. Bill Wattenberg. I'm Ed Baxter. Guys, we talked about Arnold Schwarzenegger. We talked about the special election. Let's talk a little bit about direct democracy, the initiative process. The governor came in, he promised during his campaign that if the legislature wouldn't work with him, he was going directly to the voters. He did that. It was a resounding defeat. Gene, do you still believe direct democracy is the way to go, the initiative process, or has it done its day?
Oh, no. Of course direct democracy is the way to go. We lend our power to the people we elect. We don't turn it over to them forever. So the referendum and initiative petition process can be messy, and sometimes the answer is no. And when the answer is no, the people who cared enough to get out and vote have told you what they think, and they carry the day. I do not back down from my support for direct democracy. My only regret is that we do not have direct democracy on a national level. Maybe we could have done something about the stupid war we find ourselves in. I've heard a lot of people say, even here tonight it's been said, that the money spent on the special election was wasted. Money spent on self-government is never wasted. The governor wasted his opportunity to make his case, but asking the people what they think and allowing them to vote, that's never wasted time or money. That's what self-government means.
Well, it would be nice, though. It would be nice if what was on the ballot was on the ballot because the people wanted to be heard. Unfortunately, what goes on the ballot is whoever got $1 million and can use professional signature gatherers puts it on the ballot, and then $50 million is spent not because the people brought up issues that they wanted to see done, but because special interests, whoever they may be, put the money on the ballot and created it. The initiative process is a great idea, but there has to be an amendment to it, and that is somehow we have to outlaw professional signature gathering. If, on the other hand, I agree with you completely. If you can actually get people to go out on a Saturday and stand on a corner and collect signatures, and they're so impassioned about something that they're willing to get the signatures they need to qualify something for a ballot, that's a tremendous thing for participation. But when all you do is pony up money, go out and hire signature gatherers, get it qualified for the ballot, and then we have to spend $50 million to beat it back, that to me is not direct democracy. That's just simply survival, and the $50 million was wasted because what was on the ballot was not addressing any of the issues that needed to truly be addressed.
Yeah. Ray?
Direct democracy is a wonderful thing. But when you're simply playing somebody's game, when you're simply dipping into the till where the money could be spent for something much more profitable, it is a complete waste of the taxpayers' dollars to put your ego, to put your arrogance on that damn ballot. And then when the voters go out and they vote against every single one of you, what was the response from, what is his name?
The boobin grabber.
The
Propinator.
What was his response yesterday after the election?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, they didn't really vote against the ballot measures. They were simply letting me know that they did not want a special election. The people of the state of California took it upon themselves to go out and to send multiple messages. One of them is that we don't like those propositions, which is why we decided to vote against it. We don't like you being so differential to the corporate interests of our society and to put everybody in unions down. We don't like you to assault the teachers in the state. We don't like you to assault the nurses in the state. And furthermore, we do not want you to waste another dime to try this little practice, this little experiment again, because Arnold Schwarzenegger, you are a loser. Big time. Full time.
Dr. Bill, the initiative, I'll get to you in just a second. Dr. Bill, the initiative process.
On the initiative issue.
Yeah.
Well, look, I don't think what happened here is an indictment of the initiative process by any means. Every time you say you should change the system and have rules so certain people can or cannot obtain signatures, you can turn it right around the other way. Some of the most important initiatives that have been passed by public interest groups, by teachers, by education. If the same argument were used against them, those propositions would never have been there. There's no way to make rules of who can and cannot stand on a corner, exercise their right, as Gene points out, and obtain a signature. Now, in terms of this election,